Have you ever noticed how the most successful people in the world rarely broadcast their accomplishments? They don't need to. Their actions speak louder than words ever could. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with noise. Social media, advertisements, people shouting from the rooftops about their latest achievements. But amidst all this chaos, true success often moves silently like a deep river carving its path through the landscape. Let's break this down, step by step. Why should you never tell people what you do? First, actions speak louder than words. When you constantly talk about your goals, your projects, your achievements, you're using up valuable energy that could be directed towards actually doing the work. It's easy to talk, but it's the doing that counts. Remember, the world doesn't pay you for what you know. It pays you for what you do. So instead of telling people about your grand plans, show them through your results. Let your work be so good that it speaks for itself. Secondly, by keeping your plans to yourself, you protect your dreams from negative influences. We have all experienced it. You share an exciting new idea with someone, and they immediately start pointing out all the reasons why it won't work. Their doubts can seep into your subconscious, planting seeds of uncertainty that can hinder your progress. But when you keep your goals close to your chest, you give them a chance to grow strong roots before exposing them to the harsh winds of criticism. You are nurturing your dreams in a protective environment, allowing them to flourish. Think of it like a seed growing beneath the soil. It doesn't announce its presence to the world until it's strong enough to break through the surface. In the same way, let your ideas and projects develop in privacy until they're ready to stand on their own. When you don't readily divulge what you do, you create an aura of intrigue around yourself. People become curious. They want to know more. This curiosity can open doors and create opportunities that might not have existed if you had laid all your cards on the table from the start. Imagine you're at a networking event. Everyone's exchanging business cards, rattling off their job titles and accomplishments. But you simply smile and say, "I help people achieve their dreams." Suddenly, you are the most interesting person in the room. People want to know more. They're drawn to you, not because of what you've told them, but because of what you haven't. This brings us to another crucial point: the importance of listening. When you are not busy talking about yourself, you have more time to listen to others. And let me tell you, listening is a superpower in today's world. By truly listening to others, you gain valuable insights. You learn about their needs, their challenges, their aspirations. This information is gold. It allows you to tailor your approach to offer solutions that truly resonate. Remember, people don't care how much, until they know how much you care. Now, some of you might be thinking, but how will people know what I can offer if I don't tell them? Here's the secret: show, don't tell. Instead of telling people you are an expert, demonstrate your expertise through your actions. Instead of claiming to be a leader, lead by example. Instead of talking about what you're going to concentrate on producing tangible results. Let your work speak for itself. When you encounter challenges, don't complain or make excuses. Quietly work on solutions. People will notice your ability to handle difficulties with grace and competence. Show genuine interest in others. The more you understand about the people around you, the better position you will be to add value to their lives. True confidence doesn't need to announce itself. Be secure enough in your abilities that you don't need constant validation from others. Instead of trying to prove how much you know, focus on expanding your knowledge and skills. The most successful people are lifelong learners. Rather than networking with the goal of selling yourself, focus on building genuine connections. These relationships will naturally lead to opportunities. Be patient. Success doesn't happen overnight. Trust in the process and keep working diligently, even when no one seems to be noticing. Remember, the goal isn't to be secretive or mysterious for its own sake. It's about shifting your focus from talking to doing, from seeking approval to creating value. Now, let me share a personal story with you. Early in my career, I was eager to prove myself. I would tell anyone who would listen about my goals, my projects, my vision for the future. I thought this would impress people, make them see my potential. But I noticed something interesting. The more I talked, the less I actually accomplished. I was spending so much energy trying to convince others of my worth that I wasn't putting in the work to actually increase my value. It was only when I decided to step back, to stop talking and start doing, that things began to change. I focused on honing my skills, on delivering results, on solving problems for others. And you know what? People started to notice. Not because I was telling them to, but because my work was speaking for itself. This shift in approach transformed my career. It opened doors I never even knew existed, and it can do the same for you. Now, I want to address a common concern. Some of you might be thinking, but what about self-promotion? Isn't that necessary in today's competitive world? And you are right to an extent. There's a time and place for showcasing your abilities. But there's a big difference between strategic self-promotion and constantly talking about yourself. Strategic self-promotion is about demonstrating your value through your actions and your results. It's about letting others sing your praises rather than tooting your own horn. It's about creating such exceptional value that people can't help but notice. Think about the most respected people in your field. Chances are they're not the ones constantly talking about how great they are. They're the ones consistently delivering outstanding results. They're the ones solving problems, innovating, and making a real difference. That's what you should aspire to. Be so good they can't ignore you. Create work of such high quality that it demands attention. Solve problems in such innovative ways that people can't help but talk about you. In a world that's constantly noisy, silence can be your secret weapon. When you're not filling the air with words about yourself, you create space. Space for others to share. Space for ideas to germinate. Space for opportunities to present themselves. Silence also gives you time to think, to reflect, to strategize. It allows you to observe and understand the dynamics around you. This understanding is crucial for success in any field. Remember, the most powerful person in the room is often the one who speaks the least but observes the most. Be that person. Be the one who listens, who watches, who understands. Then when you do speak, your words will carry weight because they come from a place of knowledge and insight. When you're not constantly telling people what you do, you free yourself from the pressure of living up to your own hype. Instead, you can focus on consistently delivering value. Consistency is the key to building trust and reputation. It's not about making grand promises or bold declarations. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and gradually building a track record of excellence. Would you rather work with someone who talks a big game but delivers inconsistent results, or someone who quietly and consistently exceeds expectations? The answer is obvious. By focusing on consistent action rather than constant talk, you build a solid foundation for long-term success. You become known as someone reliable, someone who delivers, someone people can count on, and in the long run, that's far more valuable than any amount of self-promotion. When you are not busy telling everyone about your accomplishments, you create space for self-reflection and honest self-assessment. You can look at your work objectively, identify areas for improvement, and continuously refine your skills. This mindset of constant improvement is what separates the truly successful from those who merely talk about success. It's about never being satisfied with where you are, always pushing yourself to be better, to learn more, to achieve greater things. When you adopt this approach, success becomes a byproduct of your actions rather than the goal itself. You are no longer chasing success for its own sake. Instead, you are focused on creating value, on making a difference, on becoming the best version of yourself. And ironically, it's this very mindset that often leads to the greatest success. Some people might think that by not telling others what they do, they're missing out on opportunities. But the truth is quite the opposite. When you focus on doing rather than talking, you create more opportunities than you could ever imagine. Every time you deliver exceptional results, you're creating a ripple effect. The person you have helped tells someone else. That person becomes curious and looks into what you do. Before you know it, opportunities are coming to you rather than you having to chase them. This is the power of building a reputation through action rather than words. It's about becoming the go-to person in your field, the one people think of when they have a problem that needs solving. When opportunities do come your way, they're more likely to be the right ones. They're based on what you have actually done, not on what you have claimed you can do. This means you are more likely to find yourself in situations where you can truly excel and add value. When you are not constantly seeking validation through telling others about your accomplishments. You develop a stronger sense of inner confidence. Your self-worth becomes based on your own assessment of your work, not on the opinions of others. This inner confidence is powerful. It allows you to take risks, to push boundaries, to innovate, because you are not worried about what others will think or say. You are free to explore new ideas, to try new approaches, to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. And that's where true growth happens. That's where breakthroughs occur. That's where you start to achieve things you never thought possible. Let's also consider how this principle can impact your relationships, both personal and professional. When you are not constantly talking about yourself, you create space for deeper, more meaningful connections with others. People are drawn to those who make them feel valued and understood. By focusing on listening and understanding rather than talking and impressing, you build stronger, more authentic relationships. These relationships will naturally lead to opportunities. In the professional world, this approach can set you apart as a true leader. Leadership isn't about telling people what to do or boasting about your achievements. It's about inspiring others, about bringing out the best in your team, about creating an environment where everyone can excel. By focusing on actions rather than words, you lead by example. You show your team what's possible through your own dedication and hard work. You inspire them not through grand speeches, but through consistent, excellent performance. A question that might be on some of your minds: if I'm not telling people what I do, how do I market myself or my business? This is a valid concern. It brings us to an important distinction. Marketing isn't about telling people what you do. It's about showing them the value you can provide. It's about demonstrating how you can solve their problems or improve their lives. Instead of talking about your qualifications or your process, focus on the results you can deliver. Share case studies, testimonials, concrete examples of how you have helped others. This approach to marketing is far more powerful than simply listing your services or qualifications. It speaks directly to the needs and desires of your potential clients or customers. It shows them in tangible terms what working with you could mean for them. When you focus on the value you provide rather than on yourself, you naturally attract the right kind of opportunities. You draw in people who genuinely need what you have to offer, who appreciate the unique value you bring to the table. This leads to more satisfying work, better relationships with clients or customers, and ultimately greater success. Because when you are truly aligned with the value you're providing, success becomes a natural outcome rather than a constant struggle. When you focus on doing rather than telling, you naturally start to think in terms of legacy. You are no longer concerned with short-term recognition or praise. Instead, you are focused on creating lasting value, on making a real difference in your field or in the world. This shift in perspective can be truly transformative. It pushes you to think bigger, to set more ambitious goals, to strive for excellence in everything you do. Because you are no longer seeking immediate validation, you are free to take on projects or pursuits that might not yield immediate results, but have the potential for significant long-term impact. The people who have made the biggest difference in the world, they didn't achieve what they did by talking about their plans or seeking constant approval. They did it by putting their heads down, doing the work, and steadily pushing towards their vision. You have that same potential within you. By focusing on actions rather than words, you open yourself up to possibilities you might never have imagined. You give yourself the freedom to pursue your true passions, to make your unique mark on the world. Now, I want to address a common pitfall that many people fall into, the trap of comparison. In today's world of social media and constant connectivity, it's easy to fall into the habit of comparing ourselves to others. We see people posting about their achievements, their lifestyles, their successes, and we feel pressured to do the same. Those posts rarely tell the whole story. They don't show the hard work, the failures, the doubts, the struggles that inevitably come with any worthwhile pursuit. By constantly telling people what you do or what you have achieved, you are contributing to this culture of surface-level comparison. Instead, focus on your own journey. Measure your progress against your own goals and standards, not against the carefully curated images others present to the world. This approach allows you to stay true to your own path, to pursue what truly matters to you rather than what you think will impress others. And ironically, it's this very focus on your own journey, on doing the work rather than talking about it. That often leads to the kind of success that others can't help but notice and admire. How this principle can impact your personal growth and development. When you are not busy telling people what you do, you create more space and energy for learning and improvement. Instead of expending effort on crafting the perfect elevator pitch or polishing your LinkedIn profile, you can invest that time and energy into actually improving your skills, expanding your knowledge, and pushing your boundaries. This commitment to continuous growth and improvement is what separates true achievers from those who merely talk a good game. It's about never being satisfied with where you are, always striving to be better, to know more, to do more. This approach to personal growth is self-reinforcing. The more you focus on improving yourself and your skills, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the less you feel the need to tell others about what you do. And the less you tell others, the more time and energy you have to focus on further growth and improvement. It's a virtuous cycle that can propel you to heights you never thought possible. When you don't constantly tell people what you do or what you're capable of, you create the opportunity to surprise and delight them with your actual performance. Which would you prefer? Someone talks endlessly about how great they are, but delivers average results, or someone who says little but consistently exceeds expectations? The answer is, by focusing on action rather than words, you set yourself up to consistently over-deliver. You are not bound by the expectations you have set through your own boasting. Instead, you are free to quietly excel, to go above and beyond, to truly wow people with your performance. This approach builds a reputation that's far more powerful than any self-promotion could ever be. It creates a buzz around your work, generates word-of-mouth recommendations, and attracts opportunities in a way that feels natural and authentic. How this principle can impact your resilience and ability to handle setbacks. When you are not constantly telling people about your plans and goals, you give yourself the space to experiment, to take risks, to fail without the added pressure of public scrutiny. This freedom to fail is crucial for long-term success. Every great achiever has faced setbacks and failures along the way. The difference is that they didn't let these setbacks define them or deter them from their path. They viewed them as learning experiences, as stepping stones on the way to their ultimate goals. By adopting the never tell people what you do principle, you are creating an environment where failure is not a public spectacle, but a private opportunity for growth. This allows you to bounce back more quickly, to adjust your approach, and to keep moving forward without the weight of others' expectations holding you back. How this mindset can transform your approach to goal setting and achievement. When you are not focused on impressing others with your plans, you can set goals that truly matter to you. These goals become internal drivers, pushing you forward even when no one else is watching. This internal motivation is far more powerful than any external validation. It keeps you going when the going gets tough, when progress seems slow and obstacles seem insurmountable. Because you are not doing it for the applause or the recognition. You are doing it because it matters to you, because it aligns with your values and your vision for your life. Consider the impact of this approach on your decision-making process. When you are not constantly seeking approval or validation from others, you are free to make decisions based on what you truly believe is right, rather than what you think will impress others or conform to their expectations. This authenticity in decision-making leads to a more fulfilling career and life. You are no longer trying to fit yourself into someone else's mold of success. Instead, you are crafting your own path, one that aligns with your unique strengths, passions, and values. The power of focus that comes from not constantly telling people what you do. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, emails, meetings, they all compete for our attention. When you're always talking about your work or your goals, you are adding another layer of distraction to your life. By keeping your plans and projects to yourself, you create a bubble of concentration around your work. You are not constantly pulled away by the need to update others or respond to their comments. Instead, you can dive deep into your tasks, achieving the kind of flow state that leads to your... This focused approach allows you to make significant progress in less time. It's not about working longer hours. It's about making the hours you work count. By eliminating the distractions that come from constantly talking about your work, you can achieve more in less time, leaving you with more energy and time for other important aspects of your life. How this principle can impact your ability to innovate and think creatively. When you are not bound by the expectations you have set through your own words, you are free to explore new ideas, to take unexpected turns in your work, to follow your curiosity wherever it may lead. This freedom is crucial for innovation. Many of the world's greatest breakthroughs have come not from following a predetermined path, but from being open to new possibilities, from being willing to question assumptions and try new approaches. By keeping your plans to yourself, you create the mental space for these innovative ideas to emerge. You are not locked into a particular approach because you have already told everyone that's what you're going to do. Instead, you are free to pivot to experiment, to find the best solution rather than the one you initially thought would work. How this principle can impact your ability to collaborate with others. When you are not focused on promoting yourself or your own ideas, you become a better team player. You are more open to others' input, more willing to share credit, more focused on the collective goal rather than individual recognition. This collaborative mindset is increasingly important in today's interconnected world. The most complex problems we face in business and society, in our personal lives, often require diverse perspectives and collective effort to solve. By focusing on doing rather than telling, you position yourself as a valuable team member, someone who contributes substantively rather than just talking a good game. How this approach can impact your ability to learn from others. When you are not busy talking about what you know or what you can do, you create space to truly listen and learn from those around you. Every person you meet has something to teach you, some unique perspective or experience that can enrich your understanding of the world. By adopting a humble, learning-focused mindset, you open yourself up to a world of knowledge and insight. You become a lifelong learner, constantly growing and evolving. And ironically, this openness to learning often leads to the kind of expertise and success that others can't help but notice and respect. The impact of this principle on your stress levels and overall well-being. When you are constantly telling people about your plans and goals, you are creating external pressure to live up to those words. This can lead to unnecessary stress and anxiety, especially if things don't go exactly as planned. By keeping your plans to yourself, you remove this source of stress. You are no longer performing for an audience. You are simply doing the work because it matters to you. This can lead to a greater sense of peace and fulfillment in your work and life. Moreover, this approach allows you to celebrate your successes more genuinely. When you achieve something significant, the satisfaction comes from the achievement itself, not from the validation or recognition of others. This intrinsic satisfaction is far more fulfilling and lasting than any external praise. How this principle can impact your ability to adapt to change. In today's fast-paced world, the ability to adapt quickly to new circumstances is crucial. When you are not locked into a particular path because you have already announced it to the world, you are more able to pivot when circumstances change. This flexibility is a huge asset in both your personal and professional life. It allows you to take advantage of new opportunities as they arise, to adjust your approach when faced with unexpected challenges, to stay relevant in a rapidly changing world. How this principle can help you build a personal brand that truly stands out. In a world where everyone is clamoring for attention, where social media feeds are filled with people broadcasting their every move and achievement, quiet competence becomes a remarkable trait. By focusing on doing rather than telling, you build a reputation based on substance rather than hype. People come to know you as someone who delivers results, someone who can be counted on, someone who adds value without needing to constantly point it out. This kind of reputation is far more powerful and lasting than one built on self-promotion. It's a reputation that spreads through word of mouth, that opens doors without you having to knock, that creates opportunities you might never have imagined. How this approach can impact your ability to negotiate and advocate for yourself when it really matters. When you are not constantly talking about your achievements, the times when you do speak up carry more weight. Your words have more impact because they're backed by a track record of quiet competence. This can be particularly powerful in situations like salary negotiations or when pursuing new opportunities. Instead of having to convince others of your worth, you can point to concrete results and let them speak for themselves. This evidence-based approach is often far more persuasive than any amount of self-promotion. How this principle can help you stay true to your values and maintain your integrity. In a world that often rewards appearances over substance, it can be tempting to exaggerate our abilities or accomplishments. But this path leads to a disconnection between who we are and who we present ourselves to be. By focusing on doing rather than telling, you align your actions with your words. You build a reputation based on integrity and authenticity. This not only feels better on a personal level, but it also builds the kind of trust and respect that are crucial for long-term success in any field. How this approach can impact your ability to mentor and lead others. When you are not focused on promoting yourself, you create space to lift others up. You can focus on developing the talents of those around you, on creating opportunities for others to shine. This approach to leadership, one based on empowering others rather than showcasing yourself, is incredibly powerful. It builds loyalty, fosters a positive work environment, and ultimately leads to better results for the entire team or organization. How this principle can help you stay motivated over the long term. When you are constantly talking about your goals and achievements, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking external validation. But this can be a fickle source of motivation, one that can leave you feeling empty even when you achieve your goals. By focusing on the work itself, on the process of growth and improvement, you tap into a more sustainable source of motivation. You are driven by the intrinsic satisfaction of doing good work, of solving problems, of making a difference. This kind of motivation can sustain you through the inevitable ups and downs of any long-term pursuit. How this approach can help you develop a growth mindset. When you are not focused on proving yourself to others, you are more open to feedback and criticism. You see challenges not as threats to your reputation, but as opportunities to learn and improve. This growth mindset is crucial for long-term success in any field. It allows you to bounce back from setbacks, to persist in the face of challenges, to continuously evolve and adapt in a changing world. How this principle can impact your ability to build and maintain meaningful relationships. When you are not constantly talking about yourself, you create space for deeper, more authentic connections with others. You become a better listener, more attuned to the needs and perspectives of those around you. This approach to relationships, one based on genuine interest and empathy rather than self-promotion, can enrich your life in countless ways. It can lead to more fulfilling personal relationships, more productive professional collaborations, and a broader network of support and opportunity. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in superficial measures of success. Likes on social media, job titles, material possessions. But these external markers often have little to do with true fulfillment or lasting impact. By focusing on doing rather than telling, you naturally shift your attention to the things that really matter. The quality of your work, the impact you're having on others, the growth and learning you are experiencing. This focus on substance over appearance leads to a more meaningful and satisfying life and career. When you are not constantly focused on promoting yourself, you become more attuned to the emotions and needs of those around you. You develop greater empathy, better communication skills, and a more nuanced understanding of interpersonal dynamics. This emotional intelligence is increasingly recognized as a key factor in personal and professional success. It allows you to navigate complex social situations, to build strong relationships, to lead effectively, and to collaborate productively with others. When your sense of self-worth isn't tied to what others think of you or to external markers of success, you are better able to weather the inevitable storms that come with any worthwhile pursuit. This resilience allows you to take risks, to push boundaries, to persist in the face of challenges. It gives you the strength to keep going when others might give up, to learn from failures rather than being defeated by them. How this approach can help you stay ahead of the curve in your field. When you are not busy telling everyone what you are doing, you have more time and energy to focus on what's coming next. You can stay attuned to emerging trends, develop new skills, and position yourself for future opportunities. This forward-thinking approach is crucial in today's rapidly changing world. It allows you to stay relevant, to adapt to new circumstances, to seize opportunities that others might not even see coming. When you are not constantly focused on promoting your professional achievements, you create space to develop other aspects of your life. your relationships, your health, your personal interests and hobbies. This holistic approach to success, one that considers all aspects of your life, not just your work, leads to greater overall satisfaction and well-being. It allows you to build a life that's not just successful by external standards, but deeply fulfilling on a personal level. The principle of never tell people what you do is about so much more than just keeping quiet about your work. It's about shifting your focus from talking to doing, from seeking validation to creating value, from short-term recognition to long-term impact. It's about building a life and career based on substance rather than appearance, on authentic achievement rather than empty self-promotion. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to tell others about their accomplishments, because those accomplishments speak for themselves. As you leave here today, I challenge you to embrace this principle. Focus on doing great work, on constantly learning and improving, on making a real difference in whatever field you are in. Trust that if you do this, if you consistently deliver value and exceed expectations, you won't need to tell people what you do. They'll already know, because they'll have experienced the impact of your work firsthand. Remember, true success isn't about what you say you can do. It's about what you actually do. It's about the value you create, the problems you solve, the lives you touch. So go out there and do great things. The world is waiting for your unique contribution. Thank you.